forgot how to walk.
Shoot all you want, but nothing will show up. How about we wait till it's light out?
Huh? Son of a bitch.
Imperials above us!
Thanks.
What?
I'm going all out. Just don't get too careful.
Sure want to talk. Well, here we are.
Prompto's barely hanging on. Stinking hot.
Yeah. Made it. It's bedtime.
Yeah.
Yo.
Hey.
It's been a real pain in the ass, eh?
Well, they use just magazine.
Ready or not?
Now let's get the next one.
You don't need. Why are you eating the floor?
Everything in order?
Yep.
Just custom. I'm streaming right now, by the way. I think Joe is checking it out. I don't know if you can actually hear me or not, though. What are you doing? For what purpose? What are you doing? The fuck are you? I don't understand though. What are you trying to accomplish with this? Oh boy. I'm gonna fucking run out of gas. stop and get some gas.
What do you say we pull over for a minute? Yeah, my throat's bone dry.
Sounds like grounds for a pit stop.
Sounds like a waste of time and money.
So how about a breather?
I still can't believe that they didn't put a fucking top on the Cindy. This is gratuitous.
All pretty again. Take care of her, you hear?
Stroman, you're ruining my stream. Actually, I should make him stream. We should just put the camera on him. I bet you that would make way more money.
Everything in order?
Yep.
All right.
Joe, shoot me a message if you're watching and you can hear this, and I'll give you the guided tour. Or leave a comment. I don't know if I have comments enabled or not. That was a pretty good stay.
Don't forget where we parked.
Okay, Joe can hear me. All right, so let's give you a tour. So basically, the way this works is like it's like a GTA 5. If GTA 5 was mostly on rails driving.
It's close.
So basically, like the car will always stay on the road, and you can basically like choose your fork in the road, but you can't drive it anywhere you want. And then with respect to combat, okay, I can't win this because those guys are way too high level, but I'll find some lower level shit.
Very comedy.
So basically, the car works like the car is like an on rails thing. You can take control of it, or you can automate it. And if you automate it and you've already been to a place, it's basically like how you fast travel. Ignis will drive you. Ignis is this dude in the suit right here. He'll drive you from place to place automatically. You also, though, have chocobos. So you can summon your chocobo after you get to a certain point of the game. You can customize it, you can level it up, you can race it, and you can do crazy shit like this. So I can actually like use him to fight bad guys.
Gotcha.
And he'll join you as a party member. Combat is fully real time, although I'll show you this one thing. There is this concept of wait. So this is an optional thing where you can basically, whenever you're not pressing anything, you can have it wait, and then from here I can target bad guys, or go through my items, or even go into the menu and like make some changes. In this case, these bad guys are way too low level, so I'm going to destroy them. And the other guys are way too high level to actually fight. But a couple of interesting things. So, magic in this game takes the form of like a weird hybrid of Final Fantasy VIII and like, I don't know, like Battle Mage Lichdom, where you basically... magic is a resource that you draw from draw points that are scattered around the world. And you basically have to combine your individual elements to form spells. So the way this works is you can see down at the bottom here, my potency is 22. So the more of a particular element that I use, the higher the potency. And to get to Fyra and Fyraga, I have to use more. So basically, like once you pass potency 100, it turns into Fyra. and then once you pass potency 200, it turns into Firaga. And so basically the trick with this is like you can use other elements to go past a certain potency. So you can see I'm using 99 of my Blizzard, which gets me 109 potency Blizzara, and I can actually continue to add until I've used more than the proportional amount. So basically, like in this case, I can get, I'm still pretty low level with magic, so I can only get up to 154, but if I was to use 99 Thundera, then what you'd see is something like this, where you'd get like either Unicast, which is like it'll randomly use one of the magics, or if you use a lot of just one, you'll get, potentially you will get a double cast, which will use like both at the same time. And I've only had that happen a few times, but it really depends on how you mix and match the specific amounts. You can also add items, which does other crazy ass shit. So like for example, if I use a healing item, it'll add healing to the spell when I cast it, so it'll use Blizzard and then with heals. So you can do quite a bit of mixing and matching, which is pretty cool. And that's if you even want to use magic in the first place. By and large, you don't really need to, because this game is largely melee focused. So Noctis, the main character, can use any of the weapons in the game and can switch between them just using the D-pad. Each one has different properties and there's a bunch of different equipment with it, and depending on what the bad guy's weaknesses are, you can find some pretty compelling mixes of stuff. Switching in between attacks is totally viable. And the other thing you can do is you can warp. So basically at any point in combat, you press triangle and you'll warp from place to place using your blade, which is really good for dodging, but it's also really good for like aerial combos and shit. So it plays a lot like a Devil May Cry kind of thing. And I'll get into some combat as soon as I get in.
Okay, we got what we needed.
Okay, so you should see it here. Yeah, so you can see there's some action-y kind of elements. Let's do something cool. So I won't be able to do much in the way of physical damage to these guys because I'm going to destroy them. But what I will do is I'll show you how ridiculous the fucking magic is in this game, because it's like insane. So this is absolutely going to wipe these guys out. Oh yeah, I should mention. So when you're in wait mode, one of the advantages is you can use Libra just by holding the guys, and then in the top left corner you'll see what they're weak against. So actually, they're weak against Blizzard. So when I cast this spell, it's going to fuck them up. And that's the thing. Magic is super limited. It's way, way, way more limited than it is in Final Fantasy VIII. But it is super, super, super strong. So you can see it, like the whole local area gets like fucked up. And it leaves like a lasting effect. Like this becomes like a damage over time thing in the local area. And like you can do some crazy ass shit. It also is friendly fire, so like it gets very crazy hectic when you're really doing a lot of stuff at the same time. Yeah, this is pretty cool. The Imperial bad guys, like basically the main bad guy force. The random battles equivalent is like these guys dropping in on you, and like right now, because of where I am in the story, they're like super overpowered, so I can't really fight them very often because I'm not high enough level. But pretty cool.
Cut it out, man.
So in this case, I have completed my story mission, so I can actually teleport back to the quest giver. And very like Witcher 3 open world, like tons of subquests. It's basically like if Witcher 3 and Final Fantasy 12 had a baby. That's basically what this game is. Really, like the only thing that sucks is the story. The story in the actual game is garbage. Now, the movie and the actual anime that went along with it are actually pretty good. I thought the story was like on par with the other better Final Fantasy games. But in terms of like in the game, the story is like very kind of sporadically told. There's like next to no cutscenes, and the cutscenes that are in the game are actually taken from the movie as like flashbacks or like happening in parallel kind of things. But yeah, like the story is definitely lacking relative to other games in the series. Not that the other games necessarily have the best story, but I just think it's like it's weird. Like because of the open world aspect of it, there's things that just are disjointed, and it does feel like they basically like had half a game and then we're like, how can we stitch this together into a story, and kind of took these pieces of things that don't really fit together and tried to make them fit.
So what's next? Ask around a little?
It's up to knocked.
In terms of like progression systems, so you have XP, which is a little bit different than other games insofar as you only get levels when you sleep or when you camp. And you can camp in more expensive places like going to a hotel to multiply your XP, which is kind of neat. It doesn't really change the game in any significant way, but it just gives you the option to basically spend money to go faster in terms of leveling, which for me is kind of a neat way to like play the system. Gear is basically your very typical kind of RPG system. You get multiple accessories, clothes, which affect the stats, and then weapons, and the weapons can be leveled up. There's a very basic like weapon upgrade system through SID, but it's not super complicated. You also get AP, which you can use on a like sphere griddy type system, which is very limited. Like these are all pretty shallow grids, but it's enough to kind of give you the ability to tailor the game in your direction a little bit. So for example, I've decided to dump a bunch of points into magic as well as combat, but you can there's all kinds of different ways. You can invest in your team and get different skills and all kinds of stuff for that. There's also, each character has like a specific like special skill. So Noctis is fishing, Gladius is survival, Ignis is cooking, and Promptus is photography, and these are basically like passive side stuff that doesn't make a huge difference on anything. Other than that, this is your typical like 2016 open world RPG. It takes a lot from Witcher. Like, it feels a lot like Witcher 3. It's kind of funny. Like if this had come out 3 years ago when it was planned to, I think they would have been regarded as a pioneer. But now it's basically like a not quite as good version of Witcher 3. Not quite as like filled Witcher 3. But still Final Fantasy in certain ways.
I'm gonna cut.
You writing ghost story?
No. You know the famous.
An evil.
I know. So if you're going to.
At this point, I'm basically at the point now where there is a like decision to basically like leave, and if you can't come back. So like the open world part of it is kind of taking a break after this part, from what I understand. So I'm just doing cleanup now, trying to like finish all of the shit. What else is left here? This one I can't do yet. This I can't access yet. Oh yeah, world map wise. So this is only one of the four or five different maps, and I would say this one is about the size of, probably about the size of San Andreas, in terms of like if you try to drive from here to here, it's probably about like 20 minutes of driving. So it's a pretty decently sized map. There's a fair amount of secrets. There's a ton of open, like empty area. Like if you get off your car at any particular point and just like walk around, it's mostly empty. Like it's really kind of weird in that respect. But it does look like I'm basically done. I'm just gonna check one other thing. There's a couple of hunts that I can do. The hunting system from Final Fantasy 12 is here in full effect. Oh, here I'll show you the sleeping thing. So yeah, you could take hunts for named monsters, and they're pretty tough. I'll see if I can do one to show you what that combat is all about. Once I get this sleeping done. It's kind of funny, like I would definitely say the closest thing to this is 12. Like it's basically like the obvious next step from 12, but it feels like it's 5 years later than it should have been in terms of timing. Like, yeah, it looks better, and the systems have evolved a little bit, but there's nothing in here that 12 hadn't already kind of taken it for in terms of like world building or like quest structure or anything. Like it's basically just a better version of 12. or a more modern version of 12. So I'd actually say, like, to be honest with you, probably didn't need to buy it right now. Like, I got sucked into the hype vortex and felt like I wanted to play it right now, but like, there's nothing in here right now that feels like it wouldn't be better played when the like inevitable Game of the Year edition comes out. That's $69, but includes all the DLC. The plan for the DLC is that each one of the 3 supporting characters will get their own DLC pack, which will be like a couple of missions to flesh out each of the characters. And then supposedly the last DLC is a co-op mode where you and up to 3 people can play as the 4 party members. Which, like, yeah, it might be cool, but by the time it comes out, which I imagine will be like this time next year, it's kind of going to be like I'm pretty sure people will have lost interest by then. Let's see. What do I want to do? I'm going to go to a map location and see if I can find any more quests. Let's see if I can do a hunt. Are you curious about anything else? Oh yeah, that's one cool thing, is the car audio radio is using the soundtracks from the previous Final Fantasy games, which is really cool. I would say for you, given that you're like super into Dark Souls, that you should just wait. Like, either play it on my account during Christmas time, or like wait until it's like super cheap, because I personally don't think it's really worth it right now. Like, I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but like, I think I had more fun with Dragon Age Inquisition, to be honest with you. Even though I got a lot of shit for playing that in front of Allison, because it was basically like barely picking the Bonanza. But let me just see if I can show you some combat here real quick.
Or dare I hope, here is that
okay,
somewhere?
here we go. Let's do one of these hunts real quick.
Kenny approves.
I should be able to actually beat this one.
Careful out there.
Where do we gotta go for this? Okay, check this out. I am looking forward to trying the Chocobo racing out. It's cool because the longer you ride your Chocobo, the higher the level is. Like, it levels up, and it can do like a real basic flying move, which is pretty cool. You can even drift, which I thought was interesting. Like, I have a feeling the racing is actually going to be a lot of fun, but I haven't tried it yet. What the hell? It's in the base. What the fuck? I guess I gotta go all the way around. Also, check that Chocobo name in the bottom left corner.
Here.
I mean, the only other thing I would want to show you is the summons, but they only happen if you're in trouble, and it's hard to control. Like, you don't really have a choice as to when it comes. So maybe we'll get lucky and I can rock it. Maybe I can't. We'll see. Alright, here we go.
We're in the money. We're in the money.
Okay, so these guys are going to be like a half-decent challenge. They are weak to fire and swords. So what I'm going to do is do a little bit of elemancy and craft myself some fire. And I'm going to put in some Sahagin scale so that I get double casting. And so I've made 4 fires that are dual cast. I'm going to put this here. And then I'm going to target the group and drop the fire. Oops, and I set myself on fire. Already fucked up. So pressing square at just the right instant will parry. At which point you can basically get a free big hit.
Hey, how's it look over there?
I think we might be winning!
All in together now.
If you hit the bad guy from the back and one of your friends is near, you'll do a blindside strike, and you can even do like link attacks that are basically like you and another guy team up, that are basically like an homage to Chrono Trigger in certain ways. See if I can hold this up. There we go, there's a link strike. So you do like your fucking... No.
Grown stronger. Must be...
Here I am!
The other thing that's interesting is like, depending on the geography, you'll get these like war points. So if you see that, it'll take you to safety, and you can go behind them and cover, and you'll recover health while you're in cover. But the bad guy will basically like be alerted to you. So it's kind of an interesting way to deal with like resin and recover health. There's no healing, like magic that isn't made from something else. So basically everything is about offense. Although I've unlocked some abilities that let me recover health immediately after I take damage if I time it properly. I want to try to get this down, but I don't think it's working. So as you can see, it's pretty actiony. It's even hard for me to talk about it while I'm playing.
Go for it!
Ignis is in trouble.
My pleasure.
It's interesting, like, the other thing I was going to say was they take a lot from Xenoblade too. There's a lot of Xenoblade influence on this. It's also very flashy, in case that wasn't obvious.
My hands are getting a little cold.
Everything cool? No problems here.
There it is.
From the Empire sends reinforcements. No walk in the park.
And so at that point I can return to my car, or return to the last place I rested, and wash, rinse, repeat. In case I saw a treasure that I'm gonna go get. Oh, here we go. Oh. Really want to show you this. I might try to get hurt and see if I can get around those.
Thought you'd never ask. You like that?
Hey, Pronto! Stay on your feet! Fall in together now! How about this?
Oh yeah, the other thing I should mention is the techniques. I didn't even go into that. So you have different moves for each of your team members, and they do like special shit. So, for example, Gladius.
Try this!
He does like an AoE vortex move. It's really useful when you have a lot of different smaller enemies. And Ignis has which I just got the ability to do like a heal move, which is like one of the better moves I'm starting to realize. Just because there's like no other useful ways to heal. What I wouldn't give for my summon right now.
Felt a bit touched is all.
Mr. Nice Guy!
Oh, this is gonna be big damage.
Biggie! You're on fire today!
Was that perfect or what? I'll give you that.
This will make a fine paint.
Easy now.
Oh, and the last thing, real-time day-night cycle, which results in like super hard bad guys coming out at night, which adds a certain element of Minecrafty danger to it. Yep, so that's it.